Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division video. What if I guess today are the top 3 best damage / DPS builds for Last Stand. Now if you guys have been watching my channel for a little bit now, you guys know I love making different builds and just making builds in general. That's one of my favorite things about the Division is you have such a diversity of builds and you can just pretty much make a build out of anything and use in Last Stand or in PvE. But today we'll be talking about the 3 builds you can use right away in Last Stand or in the Dark Zone and just do an insane amount of damage. Now keep in mind, your firearms have to be really high on this. Anywhere above like 8,000 is really good, and these builds will be most effective. So if you guys do enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and let's get right into the builds. So starting off first, we have one of my favorite gear sets in the game, and this build I've been using since 1.6 came out. Recently I kind of changed it up, I've been using some different builds, but this has been my main build for a long time. So what it is 4 pieces of Striker, Savage Gloves, and a Tenacious Mask. Now, the Tenacious Mask is not really necessary, I would say. You could also go with something like the Reckless Chest Piece or even a Specialized Backpack. But my best recommendation is use a Tenacious Mask because you guys know how many times, there's gunfights and you just pop a medkit. And right there, when you pop that medkit, you get a 10% increase to your damage. So it's really useful, it's really nice, especially when you are playing solo or with one other person and you don't have a dedicated healer on your team. You guys know how sometimes annoying it is to actually win gunfights whenever you see groups of like 2 or 3 running at you. With the Tenacious Mask and a Striker build, you have a good chance of bringing down those groups really easily. Now, the one thing that a lot of people say is Striker is only good for PC. And to be honest, I semi-agree with you. You could still use this build on console. I've been using it, like I said, for a long time. The only thing you have to make sure you do is stack your bullets. Obviously, it sounds easier than it's actually done. Stacking shots is the only way this build is going to be effective. If you know your accuracy is pretty bad, especially in PvP, I would recommend using something like Predmark. And Predmark is still a really good gear set, although it's not going to be talked about in this video. Like I said, if your aim is pretty bad and you know you can't stack your shots in PvP, I would recommend using 3 pieces or 4 pieces of Predmark. The one really important thing you guys want to make sure you focus on about all these 3 builds I'm going to talk about in the video is having health rolled on all your gear pieces. The reason behind that is, like I said, having 8,000 firearms is a lot of firearms. And you definitely want to make sure you have health rolled on your gear so you are not so squishy and you don't get 2-3 bulleted in the head. So that's why I'm saying focus on health on all your gear and make sure you're using firearms / stamina health mods on all your gear pieces just for the extra health. The next build we're going to be talking about is probably the most popular build in patch 1.6, and that is the all high-end / exotic build. Now, this is one of my favorite builds in the game, especially if you want raw damage. If you want a lot of damage, just any weapon you use, submachine gun, assault rifle, marksman rifles, whatever it is, this is a build you can use, and it's very useful, especially with a nimble. Now I do understand nimble's getting nerfed in 1.6.1, it's not going to be that reliable. It's still going to be good, but like I said, it's not going to be that reliable. But besides that, it's really good. You pretty much have everything you need, like shortbow knee pads, the specialized backpack, a reckless chest piece, or even a rapid chest piece. It's your personal opinion. So anything you can think of, you pretty much have on a all high-end / exotic build, and that's why a lot of people like using it. You get, the damage, you get the survivability with the nimble holster, you get the skill power with the specialized backpack, so it's pretty much like a win-win in every category. Now the one thing I do want to say is if you guys don't have Skull MC gloves, like decent Skull MC gloves with like assault rifle damage or SMG damage and critical hit damage, I wouldn't really recommend making a all high-end / exotic build, especially if you don't even have Skull MC gloves. Don't even bother because the build is going to be really weak unless you want to use Savage Gloves and you are okay with not doing a lot of damage. But make sure you have a pair of Skull MC gloves if you're going to be attempting this build. Last but not least, the final gear set I have for you guys is probably the most overpowered gear set. Now I'm not saying overpowered as in it has to get nerfed. I'm saying it's overpowered if you know how to use it correctly. You're going to be dropping a lot of kills and a lot of people are going to get mad at you. I've been getting so many messages whenever I use this build of calling me, cheesy, whatever. But the build is 4-piece Deadeye, Tenacious Mask, and a Reckless Chest Piece. Now this build is very good, and the one thing you have to make sure you do is get used to the playstyle of using 4-piece Deadeye. You can't just run at a person and face to face them. You have to play back a little bit, and you have to make sure you have a decent marksman rifle. That's the one thing you have to worry about. If you don't have a good marksman rifle, the build is going to be still really good, but you're not going to be doing an insane amount of damage or anything like that. The two weapons I would recommend using with this build is either a SVD or something like the M700 Carbon, or maybe M44, anything like that. But make sure you have anything like Brutal, Prepared, or even Deadly on those marksman rifles, so your damage can get increased by a ton. So like I said, if you are looking for a build for PvP that does a lot of damage, these three builds are probably the best ones in the game right now. Now yes, you can use 4 pieces of Tactician to do an insane amount of damage with the Seeker Mines, but I really wanted to focus this video on just weapon damage and just doing damage with your weapons, not really abilities or anything like that, so that is why I didn't include Tactician build in this video. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I reply to all my comments, but once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.